factory riders are always up on top, but here in 86 with the new production rule, which we'll explain later on, the privateers ought to have a much better shot at the #1 plate. We got plenty of action for you here tonight, and we'll be back at Anaheim Stadium right after this. Now, the race that all of Anaheim Stadium, all 70,035 people have been waiting for, the beginning of the main event. And here we go. The gate is down, falling backwards towards the riders, and we're off to a start. Looks like Ricky Johnson and Johnny O'Mara and David Bailey getting off to a good one. Whoa, a Suzuki gets backdoored out there, coming through the first corner. Holy smoke, Burnworth. Oh, Burnworth gets knocked down by Ricky Johnson in the second corner of the race. That's the Yamaha factory pilot in the orange and black, and he's under his bike. It's taken him a couple minutes to get back up. We certainly hope he's okay. You can see we've got medical personnel right there on top of it, but he's getting back up and walking back towards his bike. So now let's go back to the leaders. Up in the top spot, you got Ricky Johnson in the lead. Whoa, there's another bale in the sand. That looks like Broc Glover. And indeed it is. Broc #4 from El Cajon, one of the favorites to this race, can only watch as the entire rest of the field goes by him. So Ricky Johnson's got Burnworth out of the way. He's got Glover out of the way. Those are two very major riders in this race, and so Ricky can breathe a little bit easier as the green flag is out and we've got an official start. Look at the lead that RJ is sitting upon. His very first race of the 1986 season for the Honda factory, and certainly he is putting on a great show. There he is, tripling the jumps, just like we saw him do earlier during qualifying. Ricky Johnson with about a 4, maybe even a 5-second lead at this point, which is real nice to sit on in the early going of the race. During last season's event, we were running 2 12-lap main events, but we threw that out for 1986 as these guys are running one winner-take-all main event. Whatever happens here is the basis upon which all the points and all the money is going to be going out. #5, Ricky Johnson from El Cajon, again sitting on a nice little gap over what looked to be #11, George Holland. What's this? 3 and 6, that's Bailey and O'Mara right now battling it out for what I believe is 4th place. Now moving up into 3rd is Bailey. That'll drop O'Mara back down into 4th. I'm really surprised to see O'Mara doing as well as he is. Remember that knee of his is only at 3/4 strength at best. But Bailey right here, #6, now trying to make a move on #11, George Holland. We'll go back to them in just a few minutes, but first, again, let's look at the big lead that Ricky Johnson is sitting on. Once again, jumping over all 3 of those jumps, and you can't see it from that angle, but the people sitting in the stands behind those 3 jumps going crazy, leaning over the rails and waving to the riders as they come by. Part of the excitement of Supercross. Everybody has a chance to get involved and cheer on their favorite rider. So it's the early going. RJ #5. Not too far away from here is where he lives. El Cajon, down in the San Diego area is where Ricky comes from. He has never won a Supercross title, and he hasn't won a Supercross race, well, since towards the tail end of the 1985 season. So he's a little bit overdue as far as a nice big win comes here for him. So you can bet that his factory support people are watching for him back in the pits, trying to cheer him on with their fingers and toes crossed. Ricky #5. Barely out of his teens, one of the younger riders on the circuit. Still, he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. Look at the lead that he's enjoying, and the thing right now is that there are no lap riders for him to have to worry about at this stage. That's actually going to be probably his biggest test when he begins to go so fast that he actually moves around to the tail end of the pack that he left behind at the starting gate. Still about there, you get a good shot of the difference between 1st and 2nd place. You've got to go way back behind before you see a runner-up. Right now, it's a full 9 seconds in between 1st and 2nd place. And Ricky, except for that foot falling off the peg right there, running almost a letter-perfect event here at the beginning of the event. This is it, the 20-lap main event right here with Ricky Johnson running away from the pack a good 9 seconds up and over second. Beautiful picture of the kind of altitude that these guys get jumping over these man-made obstacles here on the floor of Anaheim Stadium. You know, this is the 8th consecutive year that Anaheim Stadium has sold out. We've got beautiful 70-degree temperature out here in Southern California tonight. Ideal racing conditions. There's very little dust out on the track. And even though it's an extremely technical course with 50% more obstacles than these riders are normally used to having, well, Ricky Johnson seems to have the thing well in hand. Taking a look back behind him, you still cannot see anybody in 2nd place. Since he's enjoying such a big lead, earlier on, Dave Stanfield had a talk with Ricky Johnson, so let's see what he was thinking about before the race.
Same actor, new team. RJ, are you the same actor, and do you have a new team?
I'm not the same actor. I'm a new, improved actor. It goes with the team. Honda's a little bit more of a polished team, and now I feel I'm a little bit more of a polished rider, so I think you'll be looking for bigger and better things out of me.
Okay, the advantages that you have made just riding your Honda this year?
Just been having a lot more fun riding it. Been working a lot harder on my practice. I've just a new man. I'm motivated. It's just like I started racing all over again.
Okay, the track tonight is difficult. It is tough. Is it going to be you against the track and how fast you can go and concentrate, or is it going to be you against some other riders?
Well, I feel if I go out and put myself up against the other riders and feel that I got to beat them, that it's I'm going to be beating myself into the ground. So what I'm going to do is go out and ride my own race and just get around the track as fast as possible and just do everything the best of my ability.
You know, I heard one rider he was talking about, he says, look, when you start the race, you're racing so fast, you're so hyped up, you have to keep that up for 20 laps.
Oh, definitely. Everybody's worked hard, you know, this year. They're going to be fast, so if you let up for 2 minutes in a 20-lap race, you're going to be done.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much, David.
Thanks, Dave. Good interview. Now let's go back to live action. A little bit earlier, we were talking about how Ricky Johnson is going to have to start facing the back end of the pack. And sure enough, the rider he's approaching right now is the very same rider that he tangled with in the first corner of the race. Remember when he and Scott Burnworth tangled? Scott Burnworth ended up underneath his machine, and it took him quite a while to get going again. Well, Burnworth very obviously is a lap down at this time. And right now, Ricky Johnson's job is to get around the burner just as quickly as he can so that he doesn't lose that precious 9-second lead that he has. Well, there you can see Bailey already is beginning to catch up back behind him. You got to begin to wonder, perhaps could Burnworth be a little irked at what happened early on in the race? Could he be intentionally holding number 5, Ricky Johnson, back? That's part of team racing right here, and that is exactly what we're looking at. Burnworth very obviously is slowing down Ricky Johnson. There's Bailey right behind him, where before Bailey couldn't touch Johnson with a 10-foot pole. Heck, he could barely touch him with a 10-second pole. Now, here we go. He goes by the Yamaha, so he finally gets by Burnworth. Look at that. Burnworth pulled by within a matter of moments for David Bailey right there. Kind of rams that point home. So we got Ricky Johnson in the lead, but now instead of 9 seconds by, Bailey's right next to him. Holy smoke, he wastes no time at going for the jugular. Goes right for the lead right there, and Johnson on the inside line has got guts. Look at this, side by side into the corner, a wide open straightaway in front of him, and there's no holding back. Into the big berm. Now they'll approach the triples. Whoa, there's the difference between first and second place, as Ricky Johnson did all 3 and Bailey chose only to do 2. Now, probably a safety factor there. Reason why David didn't want to land on top of Ricky had Ricky not gone for all 3 of them at once. Whoa, some tight racing going on right here. Yeah, get out of the way, photographer. We want to get a look at this. It's the race for first place. This is the closest we have ever seen our top 2 finishers here tonight. Number 5 in the blue jersey from Honda, Ricky Johnson, also on a Honda. Number 6, David Bailey right back behind him as they cross the finish line. That's a lapped rider they're going by right there. Number 10, A.J. Whiting. He's at least 1 lap down. All along the side of the track, friends cheering them on, waving their fists, pointing to their heads, saying, think, guys, think. Got the youngster, and although he's not old, you got to call him the oldster. David Bailey, of course, has been around for quite a long time, the 2-time Grand National Champion. But Ricky Johnson is only this season beginning his rapid climb up through the ranks. Look at that, over the triples, and this time David Bailey makes all 3 of the triples as well. Remember, since they are on the same factory team, that means they won't be taking any unnecessary chances as far as their racing goes when they get side by side. Nonetheless, only one of these 2 riders can take home the first place check and, of course, all the first place glory. And so, well, you know that they're going to be going for each other should they go side by side. They're just not going to try anything too sneaky on each other. Again, we're looking at those monster roosts. Wow, a great pass the way that Bailey went through there on the outside of the sand. He went a lot higher than Ricky, and Ricky very nearly T-boned him right there in the corner. So take back everything I said about those guys. They're going hog wild for the lead. It's an all-out battle for first place. Teammates or no teammates, only one of them can take home the title, and number 6, David Bailey, sitting on top of it right now. again having to wind his way through the clogged traffic at the tail end of the pack here. Number 5 is the only guy in camera view right now who is on the same lap. Everybody else, they're at least one lap down. It's a wide open 1-2 punch. Racing for the lead, David Bailey from Axton, Virginia, number 6 in the red and white. Well, another bump! And this time, Johnson is going to use the loss of Bailey's momentum to his advantage as he'll take the lead right back. So Ricky, who started off the race in first place, got held back by Burnworth, then got dropped back into second place by Bailey, is able to go ahead and steamroller right back up into the top slot. Bailey not about to give up. He's less than a bike length down. It's another tight corner just before the finish line. Very nearly side by side as they go up in the air. Ricky now with only 1 bike length of an advantage in between first and second place. Holy smoke, you can run out of breath just talking about this thing. We sure hope you're enjoying all the action at your own home. At this point right now, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a break in the action. David Bailey down in second place as Ricky right now enjoying, well, it's about a bike length and a half, 2 bike lengths in certain sections of the track. Look at this, Bailey on the inside pulls the lead and takes it back again. That's the 4th time in a lap that we've had the lead change. So at this point, give me a chance to catch my breath. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back. Welcome back to Anaheim Stadium. This is Greg Barbacovi along with David Stanfield, and through the miracles of television, you've missed almost not a single thing at all. We still got a super tight race for first and second place. There you can see number 5, Ricky Johnson in the blue jersey, doing his best to try and regain the lead that he held for the very first part of the event. Ricky was the early leader. As a matter of fact, he and another rider tangled in the very first corner of the race. Burnworth went down. Ricky held the lead for the first third. Then David Bailey began his come from behind. Those guys knuckle to knuckle right now. Here, once again on the inside, Ricky trying to take the lead back, but David Bailey says, move over, Sarge, and he regains the lead. So number 6 and number 5, both of them from the very same team. That hasn't stopped them from some major league bumping and grinding, though, as both of these guys have been knocking each other and hay bales trying to maintain the precious gap that both of them have held at one time or another in the top slot. There's a very unusual picture right there. Who would have ever thought that you would see number 4, Broc Glover, former Supercross champ, being lapped, and there's Ricky Johnson, a great inside pass, and Bailey gets him back again. Holy smoke, these guys. Now Bailey comes to almost a complete stop, and Ricky Johnson's front tire almost climbed up the back of David Bailey's jersey. They came to almost a dead stop in that very tight corner. Now we're back again to a 3 bike length advantage between first and second place, and the entire Anaheim Stadium crowd is on their feet. We've got over 70,000 people here in Southern California. The 8th year in a row that this has been a sellout. And everybody is on their feet watching first and second place. We've only got a couple laps left right here. We'll see the white flag before too much longer. You can see the spectators leaning over the bars, trying to get within view of the riders so that they can cheer on their favorites. Again, lapping another rider, and you never would expect that they would have to lap number 2, Ron Lachine. He was supposed to be one of the hot dudes in this event. Ron Lachine pulls over. Very nice move on Ron's part. Sportsmanlike. He doesn't want to get in the way of the 2 guys that are still in the front running. Over there by the finish line. No flags yet. White flag will be out before you can say Jiminy Cricket. And first and second place have not changed. They are just as tight as ever. Going by Broc Glover on the outside. A very disappointed Broc Glover. This is not the way that Broc wanted to start his 1986 season. But the little professor, the son of a former American champion, David Bailey. Well, at this point, I can look out over the field and see that the white flag is out, so apparently we missed that last time, and everybody here in the stadium is up and cheering on their favorites. Of course, right now, taking a look back over his shoulder, number 6, David Bailey. Boy, a long, hard-fought race for the rider coming all the way out here from Virginia, a former Supercross champion, and he's starting off the 1986 Nippon Denso Series with a blast right here. A come-from-behind blast, nonetheless. Little tough landing right there, as he's probably thinking more about the checkered flag than anything else. And here it comes, the white flag out, the checkered flag is what you see, and David the Bandit Bailey, number 6, the little professor, takes a surprise come-from-behind win here to open up the 1986 Nippon Denso Series very tired and an almost unbelieving David Bailey as he shakes his head while approaching the pits. He gets a warm hug from his mechanic down there on the field. David Bailey will be the winner, and the crowd is ecstatic.
Listen to these guys, the teammates, the Honda teammates looking real good up here. David Bailey coming out ahead, Rick Johnson second. David, some wild riding over here, especially in that sand pit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of an understatement, I think. I think there was a few times when Rick was about to land on me. You know, we were just jumping over each other. There was so many jumps. There was a couple times, I think, right by the finish line where I was on top of Rick. I didn't even know where he was for sure, and he just squirted out from underneath me, but it was real close. We pretty much made an agreement at the starting line. We go, you know, the track's tight. We're both going really fast tonight, and if we hit each other, that's just the way it goes, you know, as long as we don't kill each other. And as you can see, it was really close racing, but I'm just happy it turned out so good for Honda and not just for myself.
Did you ever back off because he's your teammate?
No. In fact, there was one time these triples over here that I think my dad walked it off. He's got pretty accurate feet, and they're about 13 inches long. And it's 65 feet across that thing, and you don't have very much of a run. There was some rocks and things. And Rick and I both weren't really sure because there was a couple of lappers riding through it, and we were just over in the air going, God, I might be dead, or might be dead when I land. But we just gave it everything we had.
Great job. Nice start for the season.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for all of your help, Dave. Friends, as we said before, the best Supercross racing we've ever seen. From the very first event tonight, where we saw the lead change hands over 5 times, to the exciting 20-lap main event, where Ricky Johnson and David Bailey put on a show that over 70,000 people are not going to forget for a long time. Now, it's off to Houston as Supercross begins its 1986 season, thanks in part to our good friends at Nippon Denso and Suzuki. On behalf of David Stanfield out there on the field, I'm Greg Barbacovi. Thanks to everybody who helped with this telecast, and we'll hope to see you next time with more Supercross action.
The Los Angeles Coliseum Superbowl of Motocross, the granddaddy of them all, and the largest and most prestigious Supercross in the world. There is no longer or tougher track anywhere. The stars, Ricky Johnson, 3-time national title holder, defending Supercross and Super Bowl champion, and the hottest rider in racing today. Going up against new Supercross champ Jeff Ward, who, although he's already clinched the title, wants to win the crown jewel of Supercross in front of a hometown crowd. Ward's teammate Ron Lechien, former 125 national champion. When he's hot, he's hot. And the feud between Lechien and Johnson is white hot. And 125 national champ Mickey Diamond, his Honda contract is up and he wants this race bad.
The world-famous peristyle of the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. You've seen it all over the world on television from the 1984 Olympics. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Huffman, and welcome to the 16th annual Super Bowl of Motocross here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. With me to call the action tonight, David Stanfield. David, a champion has already been crowned. Is this anticlimactic tonight?
Well, round number 14, they thought it was going to be a big, great race. Well, it is. We've already crowned Jeff Ward, or he will be crowned tonight. But looking at the series, it's been a great series. They've been riding injured all year long. Warren Reed said it a couple of years ago. He said it'd be a cold day in hell before a privateer actually won a Supercross. Well, it was a rainy day in Daytona, and Ricky Ryan from San Jose, California did the deed, the first winner of a Supercross race as a privateer. He won one. Ron Lechien won one, but the battle all year long has been between two great guys. Number 1, Rick Johnson, and Jeff Ward, the number 3 plate.
And Chad Glick in the Los Angeles Times this morning said you could not find a more dissimilar pair of riders. Johnson, well over 6 foot, a real fluid rider, real easy style. Jeff Ward, about 5'7", built like a football halfback, and he attacks the track.
He attacks the track, and it is weird. It's not they're going for the number 1 plate, but there is lots of feelings out there, and both want to win.
Also some controversy, the start, a different type of start tonight. There's no downhill start because the AMA said no at the last minute, so it's a very short start, David.
It is going to be a bottleneck. The riders are trying to figure out how to take this start. I don't know what's going to happen. It is going to be possibly the strangest start of all time.
It's a first gear. They can't get out of first gear before they're in the first turn.
Correct. And there's another portion of the track where it is single file through, and like Rick Johnson was essentially complaining to the head referee, hey, you can either get in front and block people, you can bump people. another rider, a team rider, can actually possibly hold him back if he doesn't get a good start. He doesn't like it.
We're in for a wild night of racing, ladies and gentlemen, and that sets the stage. We'll be right back with all the action of the 16th annual Super Bowl of Motocross. And the stage is set for the main event. Ron Lachine, number 9, fresh off that victory in his heat race. This kid is pumped. Jeff Ward, number 3, who will take the number 1 plate tonight at the conclusion of the evening. He's won the national number 1 plate in Supercross. And Ricky Johnson, the man who will give it up. He wants to win tonight. He wants to win bad. And the wild card is Mickey Diamond, number 5 on the factory Honda. Let's see what Diamond can do here in the main. And they line up. 21 of the best riders in the world of Supercross. There's number 1, Johnson coming up on the line. Next to him, number 7, Holland. 15, Guy Cooper looking down the line. David Stanfield, a tough lineup in this main event.
The top 2 guns, they've been riding injured all year long. Rick Johnson with 6 Supercross victories, and Jeff Ward with 5. Ricky Bryan with 1, and Ron Lachine with 1. Johnson did far outside with poor position.
He had to take the outside, and here's the start. There's Ward, number 3. Here comes Cooper. There goes Johnson, and Johnson is forced out. Johnson goes all the way to the outside, and here's the battle for the lead. Number 44, Fred Andrews of Ohio, and 15, Cooper, and Johnson is trying to get back into the race. Holy Toledo, what an upset. The crowd on the edge of their seat here at the Coliseum. It is number 44, Fred Andrews in front. And there's number 9, Lachine, who was also in that tangle. And Lachine will start out. He's back in 19th place. A tough break for Lachine and a tough break for Johnson. And suddenly it's anybody's ball game. David Stanfield, as out in front is Fred Andrews.
In that first turn pileup, Dubach, Boland, Tishner, Lachine, Kalos, and Ricky Johnson, and I believe Ronnie Tishner has broken his arm.
And the question is, can Johnson or Lachine come back and even have a chance of winning this race? 20 laps through the mud, the blood, and the beer here at the LA Coliseum, and Johnson is starting in 17th spot.
Jeff Ward in 9th right now. Ricky Johnson has moved up to 15th. Ronnie Lachine in 18th spot. There's your leaders.
Now going off the peristyle and down 80 feet to the floor. Number 44, Fred Andrews, Salem, Ohio. He has never led a race this big, this prestigious. And 15 right behind him is Cooper. Then in 3rd spot is 47, Manley. And it looked like Bowen coming up also. But here is your leader, Fred Andrews. And Cooper behind him. And Cooper is riding like Charlie Manson. Look at this guy all over the track. Cooper is a wild rider. He's not a teenager. He's 24 years old out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he's going around. No! Andrews slams the screen door right in his face. Here's Johnson, and Johnson is moving up. He's up to about 14th now. Meanwhile, Andrews in front. That's Bowen in 3rd. Here goes Cooper. He passes in midair, and Guy Cooper has taken the lead.
Incredible. Guy Cooper, known for his aerial antic, puts it to good use and takes over the lead. Guy Cooper, number 15, Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he flies back onto the Coliseum floor in the lead.
15, Guy Cooper in front, and nobody expected this. Andrews in 2nd. There's 6, Bowen in 3rd, 47, Manley, and there's number 5, Diamond, and he is in 5th spot. And Diamond, if you discount Bowen, who's not had a good year, Diamond is the only superstar in the top 5. There's Wardy, and Wardy is back in mid-pack.
Wardy is in 8th right now, but it looks like he's moving up, riding very fast.
Jeff Ward is going to have to move up. Now Johnson is way back. He started in 17th spot, actually, Johnson. And here's a pileup, and Diamond piles up there, and Lease tries to go around, and Lease goes into a hay bale. And Ward gets stuffed by Diamond. But Ward very wisely backs off and doesn't try to rush through Diamond. There's still plenty of racing left. And there's your leader, Guy Cooper, with number 44, Andrews in 2nd, and number 6, Bowen in 3rd. And here comes Wardy trying to make his way into the top 5.
Wardy's trying to pass Jeff Stanton, and Stanton's right in front of him. And here they go up the peristyle. Jeff Ward has his sights on Stanton.
Jeff Stanton on a privateer factory support Yamaha ride. He's out of Michigan. A tough rider, and Wardy's trying to pull it, reel him in.
And look at all the riders behind him. Holland, Reese, Johnson, they're all back there.
And this is the guy they're trying to catch. Number 15, privateer Guy Cooper of Stillwater, Oklahoma. 24 years old. This guy is wild. He's a crazy jumper, but right now he's leading the biggest race in the world. There comes Ward trying to move up. He is going around. It looks like he's got Stanton. Stanton goes right back in front of him. Now Ward goes in front. And Stanton shuts him out, shuts the door. A beautiful move by Stanton, David Stanfield.
Stanton is an outstanding rider, a 250, a 500 rider big. He's kind of like the next Rick Johnson, they say.
56, Jeff Stanton, but we're watching now number 15, Guy Cooper. Over the finish line jump, there's number 44 in second. That's still Fred Andrews, the Salem, Ohio rider on the private Honda. And meanwhile, it is still Jeff Ward trying to move up. He's trying to get around Stanton, and Stanton holds him off. There's Bowen, number 6. And Manley is in 4th spot right behind Bowen. And there is Ricky Johnson coming out of nowhere. And Johnson has gone up to 9th from 17th. Unbelievable. Unbelievable drive by Ricky Johnson.
And there it is, Ward, Holland, and Least. What a battle.
And there's Brian Lunas saying you can. Now that's Ricky Johnson's mechanic. He says you can 16 laps. And he's telling Ricky Johnson you can go for it. You have 16 laps to win. A lot of people don't feel here in the Coliseum that Johnson can win. There's Cooper, your leader, over the jumps. There's the difference between 1st and 2nd spot. There's Wardy back away, still trying to move up. But it is Guy Cooper, number 15 in front, 44, Fred Andrews in 2nd.
And look at that, Ricky Johnson's already moved up. He's made a couple of passes, and now he's got a high set on Jeff Ward.
Johnson at this point is about in 6th or 7th spot. There's number 15, Cooper. He's in front and pulling away the top riders in the world. And until this year, Ricky Ryan was the first privateer to win a Supercross at Daytona, and Guy Cooper might win it tonight in Los Angeles.
Ward has passed Stanton. Now Johnson tries the outside and takes over Leask.
Ricky Johnson, what an incredible battle. He's come from 17th spot all the way up now to, I believe, about 5th or 6th. David, where do you have Johnson at this point?
I have got Johnson in 6th, and Ward now has passed Manley. There is
Ward is
Johnson.
in 4th, and there comes Johnson moving up, and Johnson is going after Ward. Unbelievable. Whoa, what a race. Cooper in front, Andrews in 2nd, Bowen still holding on to 3rd here at the LA Coliseum. There's number 15, Cooper, in front. Excellent camera work by our crew. There's Wardy, and Ward, I believe at this point, is about in 4th.
Jeff Ward, 26 years old. Ripe old age at 26. He's been with Kawasaki 10 years.
And there's Johnson behind him. So Ward is in 4th spot, Ricky Johnson in 5th, and here is a battle the crowd has waited to see. Holy Toledo. Cooper rips off a tear-off as he goes over the finish line, tabletop jump.
And look at the lead Cooper has.
Here comes Johnson, the crowd getting behind him. They want him to pass Ward over the tabletop jump. Ward is in 4th and Johnson is in 5th. They're getting awfully close together, David Stanfield. We could see some tangling of handlebars real soon.
They are bunching up on our 3rd place rider. That is Keith Bowen. And remember, Fred Andrews, 44, is still up there.
They're in the peristyle. It's Ward holding on in 4th spot. Johnson right next to him. Look out! Whoa! And they tangle handlebars! Look out! Johnson almost goes down. He tangles handlebars with Ward, and Ward is not somebody you can trifle with. He's strong. He's only about 5'6", but he's about as wide as a piano in the shoulders, and you don't knock him down. Johnson trying to go around Ward, and Ward shut the door on him.
Look at the drive RJ has on the back freeway there, coming out of that mechanic's turn, and then he loses a little bit over that kind of sand trap there into the S as he bobbles.
Jeff Ward and Johnson tangled at the top of the peristyle. You could barely see it in the darkness, and Johnson almost went down and recovered. And there goes Johnson. He's going around Ward, and he's got him. Unbelievable. Johnson has gone into 4th. And there is Lunas. He is trying to figure out where Johnson is in the track. He can hear the crowd cheering, and there he goes past Bowen. And Johnson has gone to 3rd. An unbelievable display of sheer determination. You crash, you're in 17th, you get up, and he's gone from 17th to 3rd, and Johnson is trying to pass Andrews going up the uphill. There's Cooper in front. Cooper does not know, David Stanfield, what's going on behind him.
He can hear the crowd. The crowd is going crazy. His wife on the pit board saying, go, go, go. And everywhere Johnson is riding on the track, they are doing the wave, yelling for him.
Oh, unbelievable. He is stalking number 44, Fred Andrews, for 2nd spot. There is Luna still watching Johnson. He can't believe this. There's your 2nd place rider, number 44, a privateer. And there's number 1, Johnson, the hottest rider in the world. And he's going to go around Andrews. He's going to try. He's got him. Andrews just backed off, and now he's trying to go back after Johnson. And Bowen is right behind Andrews. And now Johnson has gone from 17th to 2nd, and he's going after Guy Cooper. David Stanfield, I don't believe his race.
Possibly an insurmountable lead. Guy Cooper is so far out in front. But the problem with Guy Cooper, as with Ricky Johnson, they're approaching slower traffic.
Ricky Johnson has gone from 17th to 2nd, going through lap riders like Sherman through Georgia. Look at the corner workers in the crowd of the field getting behind Johnson. They want him to win. Unbelievable. Johnson. Lunas probably telling the other mechanic, David, to tell the slower Honda riders to get over and let Johnson come by.
Guy Cooper on the front stretch. We are less than halfway through this race, and there's RJ. And RJ is making his move.
Actually, a little past halfway at this point, but it is Johnson's ball game now. He's got to catch Cooper, but he's in control and gaining on the Stillwater, Oklahoma native. There's Cooper. And Johnson is back. Lap riders around him, both sides. That's when it can be dangerous. When a rider does not know you're coming up to pass him and moves over in front of you, and down you go.
According to my stopwatch, less than 3 seconds a lap. Ricky Johnson is gaining Guy Cooper less than 3 seconds a lap, which means by lap number, the last lap, possibly he could be within striking distance.
Unbelievable. If Johnson pulls this off, it will be the most incredible comeback I've ever seen in 17 years of calling Supercross.
Jeff Ward moving into third.
That's right. Ward has gone into third, and now it is Cooper, then Johnson, then Ward. And we could see a battle between Ward and Johnson toward the later stages of this race. Ricky Johnson, the crowd here at the Coliseum watching this young man from El Cajon. There is Cooper. There's Cooper. And we should see Johnson behind him, and that's, you just saw a look at Johnson's helmet. There's Johnson going over the finish line jump now.
Guy Cooper, the ride of his life, obviously the most exciting race in his entire career.
No question about that. He is doing an admirable job. We've been talking about Johnson. Cooper deserves all the accolades tonight. If he can hold off Johnson, it will be a miracle. But Cooper is doing an incredible job of fighting and scratching and clawing to stay in front. Here's Johnson on the downhill. Oh, and the Honda mechanics are waiting on Ricky. There went Cooper, and there goes Johnson. That's how close they are, David Stanfield.
He can reel him in now. He can pinpoint him. He can actually see him. Earlier, he was on the other side of the track. Ricky Johnson, he is burning to win this race. The defending champion's going to lose his place. He wants to go out in glory.
In a blaze of glory. There is Cooper in front, and Johnson smells blood. He sees the young Oklahomian in front of him, and he is going after him. Over the finish line jump. Guy Cooper, number 15, he's your leader. A surprise. He's led almost the entire race here at the Coliseum on a warm summer evening. And there's Johnson, number 1 in second. And Johnson is going after Cooper, and there they are. That's Cooper in front and Johnson behind him as they go up the uphill. What a battle. Johnson is stalking him all over the track. Look at this, a bike link in front, and Johnson is looking for a place to pass. Cooper is riding over his head, David Stanfield. He is taking chances. He's got to stay in front of Johnson.
This is incredible. RJ is going to try every trick in the book, and watch this.
The crowd is going absolutely insane. Unbelievable. Johnson has gone from 17th to 2nd, and he is one bike length away from taking the victory. He's got him. Johnson, no! Cooper takes it back. Johnson tried to go around the outside, and Cooper said, no, you're not going by. You will not pass. And he slammed the door in Johnson's face, and Johnson is mad. He wants Cooper.
RJ got a wheel in. Cooper said, no way. Shut the door.
Unbelievable, unbelievable racing action. The crowd going crazy. Johnson now trying it again. Johnson's got him. Johnson has got Cooper.
Incredible drive coming out of the whoops. RJ, his weight over the back rear tire, incredible floating sensation over the bumps, and he just had the drive over the jump.
I have never seen a race like this. You got a rider who crashed in the first lap. He started 17th out of 21 riders, and he has taken the lead, and the crowd can't believe it. But Cooper, he's like a bumblebee who's gone crazy. He keeps staying close to Johnson and makes Johnson's life miserable. Johnson's saying, you're not supposed to do this. If I pass you, back off. The sign from, did you see that sign from Lunas?
Less than 2 laps to go, 0 lead, meaning no seconds. You've got Guy Cooper right on your tail. No mistakes for Johnson, but let me tell you, he's had to pass 16 guys, and he has got mud on his goggles. He doesn't have clear vision.
That could be a problem in the last few moments. Johnson looks a little wobbly here, and also he's probably incredibly tired. He's in good physical shape. There's Lachine way back, who was never a factor in the main event.
I believe Ronnie Lachine has now moved up to 11th spot, which is admirable.
White flag. The white flag comes out, and Johnson's got a lap. If he can hold on for one more lap, David Stanfield, he's got the victory. And Cooper is determined to try to pull off the upset of the century. Look at this. Unbelievable.
No mistakes. They're concentrating on no mistakes right now.
They can't make a mistake. If Johnson makes a mistake, Cooper will take him. This is the final lap. The final few turns, can Johnson do it? Can he come? I don't think anybody has ever come from 17. He is having problems with his goggles. You can see him paw at the tear-offs. He's having problems.
Vision problems. He got roosted a couple times, and he's got rocks and dirt on his goggles. There it goes again.
Yeah.
And he is bobbling. That slowed him up quite a bit. Here comes Cooper. Cooper is closing the gap every time Johnson tries to clear off his tear-off.
He's been eating roost for all the whole lap for like 17, 18, well, 19 laps now. He's been taking dirt in his face, and he's trying to hold on to this lead, and Cooper is stalking him. 100 yards to go. Unbelievable. The final lap, and Johnson goes down. He goes down. Johnson gets up again. The crowd goes crazy. Cooper is on him like a dog on a piece of meat. The checkered flag comes out, and Ricky Johnson wins the Superbowl of Motocross. Holy Toledo!
Guy Cooper, incredible finish as well.
Look at Johnson turns around and shakes his hand and holds it up and says, you won this one too, buddy. Johnson wins it. Cooper is second. Unbelievable. Ricky Johnson takes home the victory. Guy Cooper, a well-deserved second. Jeff Ward manages third, and Jeff Lees fourth. Let's go down to the field, and David Stanfield and an elated Ricky Johnson.
That must have been the longest race of your life.
No, it was probably one of the best. I got hit really hard the first turn. I looked back to see who waffled me, and it was two Kawasaki's, and those were the guys that I was worrying about, having to go catch them. Jeff got off before me, but Ronnie didn't have a chance, so I just kept plugging away. I wasn't worried about what place I was. I just wanted to charge the whole race, and it worked out.
What was Looney telling you on the pit board?
He was just telling me to charge, mainly to just keep going, keep pushing, because sometimes when you get a gap in between guys, you sort of get lackadaisical. He told me I was in second and how far Cooper was. And I was right. I felt really good when I saw -8 laps. It felt great, man. I mean, the crowd here is the best. I mean, they saw a good race. It's not usually you see someone come from last in a pile and win, so I can't wait to watch it on videotape.
Guy, incredible, great. I mean, what's the feeling?
It's so great. I'm so happy. Second is the best I've ever done at Supercross. I wanted to win so bad, but...
We're talking, a heat win is fine, but coming in the top three in a Supercross race, especially the granddaddy of them all, it's got to be great. Okay, what was it like? You didn't get the whole shot, though.
No, I didn't get the whole shot, but Fred Andrews is a good friend of mine, and I was hoping that I could get around him without any problems, and I did on the second lap. Jana did a real good job on the pit board, telling me where I was at and how many seconds I had, and she told me I had a 10-second lead at one time, and then it went to 8, and then it went to 6, and I knew it had to be Johnson or Ward. It had to be one of those two guys pulling me in.
I take it as good as a win.
Well, it is. I'm really happy.
Welcome to the Pontiac Silverdome, the home of the Detroit Lions and the NBA Detroit Pistons. But there'll be no ball playing today here on the floor of the Silverdome. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Huffman. Welcome to round 6 of the AMA Supercross season. And the question is, can Ricky Johnson be stopped? Well, we're going to find out because Ward and Lachine and all the rest of the AMA Superstars are going to throw everything they've got to try to stop Ricky Johnson in the factory Honda today. And now we go to the race the crowd has paid their money for. The 250 main event here at the Pontiac Silverdome. And there's your riders, all the superstars. Number 44, Broc Glover. You wonder what's going through his mind. Coming back after 2 years, last year of a Yamaha contract. There's number 4, Ron Lachine, gets off the bike. Number 9, Eric Kehoe, who's long overdue for a Supercross win. There's number 3, George Holland. And Holland is also yet to be a winner in a Supercross. He's not yet won one. Talk about gunfighter eyes. Ricky Johnson, look at the concentration on this young man's face. And his nemesis, Jeff Ward. And Ward, right now, I flat guarantee, is wondering, can I beat Johnson in this main event? That is what is going through Jeff Ward's mind right now. All right, we are set to go for the main event. The 1988 Pontiac Supercross. Larry Huffman calling the action. And get set, get your seatbelts fastened, because here we go. A long straightaway. There's Jeff Ward in the center. Has he got the lead? No. Duboc on the Yamaha comes out on the outside, and Ward is second. They go up the uphill. Ward sneaks to the inside. Duboc shuts the door. Now Ward takes it back, and Duboc is right at his back tire. Back down to the bottom of the floor. Over the triple jump. Jeff Ward in front. That's number 23, Ronnie Tischner in third on the Suzuki. Ward, Kawasaki, Duboc, Yamaha, and Tischner, Suzuki. And there is Johnson back in about fourth spot and battling. Jeff Ward in front, number 1. Then Doug Duboc, number 21, and a slew of riders coming up strong. There's Johnson on the inside, number 2. There's Lease, number 7, Holland, number 3. And there's Johnson trying to get around number 23, Tischner, for third. Jeff Ward trying to open up as much of a lead as he can. He knows Johnson's behind him. He knows this man, number 2, is moving up. Johnson in fourth spot trying to get a shot at Tischner. They go up the uphill, and Ward goes down the downhill. Into the triple jumps, no showboating, no waving to the crowd now. These guys are serious. Johnson in fourth spot, going after Tischner. There is Ward, your leader. There goes Johnson trying to go in front of Duboc, and he's got Duboc. And suddenly it is Johnson going after Ward. Oh, baby. Hold on. Jeez Louise. Ward in front, as we have seen so many times so far this year, and this man in second, and this is when it gets exciting, because Johnson starts reeling in Ward. Now, Ward normally will finally let Johnson by, and then back off and give Johnson the victory. Is it going to be different today at Pontiac? We're about to find out. There's Ward, and there comes Johnson. Lachine, number 4, has gone into third spot. Duboc in fourth. Through the tunnel. Wardy in front. The fans are leaning a little bit toward Johnson here, but Jeff Ward has got a lot of fans. He won here a year ago on Saturday night at Pontiac. Johnson crashed, broke his finger, and was out of the championship. He came back, but he could never reel Ward in and overcome his points lead that he picked up here at Pontiac. And Wardy knows that. He's a superb tactician. He knows the point standings. He knows what he's got to do to stay in front of Johnson. Johnson in second spot, number 2, over the triple. All serious, no showboating, no waving to the crowd. Johnson wants Ward. He's coming on to him. Here's Jeff Ward over the double jump. Johnson coming right after him, coming at him and hammered him. Johnson wants Ward to make a mistake. Lachine in third. He's always a question mark. When Lachine wants to go for it, he can. But when he doesn't, he is the slowest rider on the track. And Lachine is currently in third spot. Here's Ward, number 1, over the Coors finish line jump. And there's Johnson. And you can see the lead is shrinking. And Ward's life is suddenly about to become more complicated. Johnson and Ward were teammates on the 1987 Motocross to Nations team. And Bob Hanna made up the third of that team. But right now they are adversaries, deadly adversaries, and it is ask no quarter and give no quarter. Coming into lap traffic already. Johnson trying to reel in Ward. Johnson and Ward, a more dissimilar stature pair of riders you could not find. Johnson well over 6'1". Ward about 5'7". Short, squat, real muscular, extremely muscular, very, very strong is Wardy. And Johnson long and lean with very little body fat. Also in incredible physical shape. Some would say that Ward has the edge in physical conditioning over Johnson. Don't know if that's true. Johnson's pretty strong. There is Johnson reeling him in now. Look at the ruts developing. That could be a factor in this race. Johnson coming in on Ward. Wardy knows now. He's got the signal from his mechanic that Johnson is closing. He's got to open up the lead. And the momentum is carrying away from the rest of the pack. Lachine in third, but he's way, way back. Oh, Johnson almost goes down. That's a surprise. Johnson does not make mistakes. Are we going to see more mistakes from Johnson because he hit the ground? The forks compressed and he almost went down. In fact, a lesser rider would have gone down. Here's Wardy. They lap number 16. That's Donnie Schmidt, who was a factor earlier, but now Schmidt is down a full lap. That gives you an idea of how fast these guys are going. Johnson goes to the inside. Here's a pass. No, Ward says no. Over the big jump, Johnson comes back in again, and Ward shuts the door again. This normally doesn't happen. Here's Johnson on the inside. He positions himself perfectly, and Johnson goes in front. Now, will Ward back off as he's done before and let Johnson run away with the race? It doesn't look like it. Jeff Ward is hammering Johnson. Down the downhill. The triple jump. Johnson and Ward. Wardy wobbling a little. Those ruts are starting to be a factor. Look at the crowd wave them on. The ruts are definitely starting to be a factor in this race. Ward going wide. Look at him wave on Wardy. The track crew waving on Jeff Ward. Go after Johnson. Into the tunnel. They lap another rider, number 11, Keith Bowen. And it is Johnson in front, but Wardy is not letting him pull away. And this is what Ward's got to do. He's got to keep the pressure on Johnson and get him to make a mistake, and Johnson is wobbling. He is rocking and rolling like a drunken sailor. Lands in those ruts, and suddenly the bar starts shaking, and Johnson almost goes down. I don't think he can be getting tired. Let's see. He looks around, and there's Wardy right behind him. Ricky Johnson, no showboating, no waving to the crowd now. He is deadly serious, and also, could it be a problem with the bike? There's Ward in second spot. No problems. One little wobble there on one of the jumps. Hammered him, but he's upright. No problems at all on a KX250 Kawasaki. Jeff Ward trying to keep the pressure on Johnson. That's what he's got to do. There's Johnson, there's Ward, and there's a lot of traffic. That could be a factor. They go by number 30, Brian Manley out of Southern California. And the crowd's attention is focused on Johnson and Ward. Normally, when Johnson gets out in front, he'll start showboating and waving to the crowd. You notice he is not doing that because he knows Ward is serious. Ward is not falling off the pace. Here's Johnson, lapping number 18. Fred Andrews, and here's Ward, number 1, still in second spot, but still keeping Johnson in range. Down that downhill, they go up into the stands. They lay plywood and then dirt on top of it and go way up into the stands of the Silverdome. And then by the time they hit the bottom of that, they are flying. Ricky Johnson, number 2, starting to pull out a lead now. A little bit of a lead. Is Wardy going to give up the ghost and fall back? He's got to keep the pressure on Johnson. There's a lap rider between them. Wardy, you got to get on the gas. You got to hammer him. And Wardy's mechanic and the team manager. Oh, and Johnson has gone down. Johnson has gone down out of our sight into the hay bale. And Ward takes the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, mark that down. You don't see that often. Ricky Johnson make a mistake, but he was wobbling earlier, and he went down fast. And now it is Jeff Ward's chance to pull away from Johnson. The crowd here at Pontiac are getting their money's worth as Ricky Johnson goes down and gives the lead to Ward. And Ward suddenly has a new lease on life, but look at Johnson come up on him. And now Wardy will try to block Johnson. Johnson slams into the ground again and wobbles. He can't afford to make another mistake. He goes to the inside and goes down again. Whoa, Nelly. Ricky Johnson has crashed twice in a main event, and Jeff Ward is on his way to victory here at Pontiac. But still, plenty of time left, and Johnson cannot afford another mistake. He has gone down twice while leading. That doesn't happen but once in a blue moon. And Jeff Ward is in front and on the gas. Now, Johnson has got to not only reel him in, he's got to pass him and stay in front. Johnson's self-confidence has got to be shaken. He's never fallen twice in a main and come back and won before. But the crowd here at Pontiac is getting their money's worth. There's Wardy, setting up for the triples. All business. And there's Johnson. You can see him wobbling in the back. The rut's developing, getting deeper. Definitely a factor here at the Pontiac Silverdome. John Savitsky built the track. Look at him wave on Ward. But he can't. He can only do as good as he can with the dirt. And the dirt is soft. It is not hard at all. It's soft. The rut's developing. There's Johnson right behind number 46, Dean Matson. Ward laps Matson, and Johnson's going after him. Ricky Johnson going after his nemesis, Jeff Ward, and now he's got Ward in sight. Can Ward hold him off, or will Ward fade? Ward has had the lead handed to him twice on a silver platter, and he knows that. What is Ward going to do? Let Johnson to the inside, almost takes it, and Ward says no. Ward sets up. He's got to go back to the inside for the next jump. And Johnson goes to the outside. They are neck and neck, handlebar to handlebar. Ward and Johnson's got the lead again. For the third time this main event, Ricky Johnson has taken the lead. Will he fall again? Honda is hoping not. Look at Ward. Ward comes back in and forces Johnson into the outside. Ward is suddenly has got the lead and goes into our cameraman. Ward is driven to the outside by Ricky Johnson and goes down. Oh, and Jeff Ward is mad. He is incensed. They tangled, and Ward got the worst of it and went right up into the hay bales, and Ricky Johnson is out in front. And Ward is down about 20 seconds. What a shocker. The white flag out, the final lap. And Johnson is on his way to victory. Starting to style a little bit now. I wouldn't do that, Ricky. You've crashed twice and almost went down a third time when you tangled with Ward. Jeff Ward in second spot, very unhappy about that. He's ahead of Lachine, his teammate, for second. but he wanted to win this one at Pontiac. And instead, it's going to go to this one if he can hold on for about another 15 seconds. Ricky Johnson, Team Honda. Look at the fans and the field people wave on Johnson. He's got it. Ricky Johnson takes the victory after crashing twice and putting war to the hay bales. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Motorcycle Demolition Derby. So the final results at Pontiac. Ricky Johnson takes it again for Honda. Ward in second. Lachine will settle for third. Eric Kehoe fourth. And Doug Duboc, the Yamaha privateer, in fifth. In sixth spot, Tishner, then Glover, then George Holland, Mike Fisher, and Jeff Matasevich rounds out the top 10. Exciting action. Let's go down to Victory Circle and Larry Myers.
Well, you did a good job. The track got awfully rough out there, and traffic was a definite problem.
Yeah, I was having lots of trouble with lap riders. You know, they weren't watching the blue flag too well, and it kind of was hampering me at the end of the race, but still pulled it off.
Same three riders in the winner's circle, same three positions. Jeff, what can you say?
That was a tough race. I was riding pretty smooth there, but made a few mistakes. And I fell like when I was behind Ricky, but then he fell too. So it was tough.
It was tough. There's no two ways about it. It was tough, and it was one of the better races you're ever going to see. And again, that thing called momentum, it was a catcher-upper, I guess.
Yeah, he caught me, and I wasn't too worried about it because I felt smooth, and I was just going to kind of see how he was riding, and we got alongside each other. He got by, and then again he fell, and he was riding really well, and then we were kind of both out of control going through the stutter bumps there, and he kind of had the advantage because he was on the inside and put me through the hay bales.
Well, Jeff, it was a great ride. Let me ask you this. Do you feel that you could have gone shoe on the other foot and you were doing the catching up? Was there any way you could have wrung another tenth or 2/10 out of that motorcycle of yours, of, you know, tenth or 2/10 of a lap faster?
No, I was riding to the ability that I usually do. He had some good lines, and he caught up to me. Like, you know, he was charging hard to catch me, and then once he got in front, I slid out in the corner, and he gave me a little gap. But as soon as after I did that, he went down and got ahead of him, but he was charging hard.
Don't go away, Jeff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's our winner. What can you say? There's only one word to describe it. RJ, it was awesome.
Yay! Man, I felt good. I got the lead. I pulled up a good, you know, I had a good, comfortable lead. I had some trouble with lappers. I ended up crashing. And then Jeff got by me. I caught up to him. I crashed again. And I was a little bit tired out there. I was hyperventilating. I wasn't concentrating on my breathing. And it showed because I was riding really tight and making a lot of mistakes. And then Jeff came up right behind me, went for the pass on the inside right before the whoops. And I went outside, we were side by side going through the whoops, and I just sort of pushed him out, you know. I think, I don't know, I think I would have played it a little bit different if I was in his shoes, but he did what he thought was right, but I won.